Act 4, Scene 2. In this one, we are in Macduff's castle. Okay, and this takes place pretty soon after the events of Act 4, Scene 1. Lady Macduff. Nice and loud. If you want to read, I want you to be loud, please. Okay, so the recording picks you up.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears make us traitor.
Good, right, so she gets the news right. What had he done to make him fly the land? So this, of course, is talking about Macduff. So she's received the news. She's received the news that he's fled. Now she assumes that he must have done something, like maybe he's done a crime. So why has my husband run away? What's he done that's forced him to run away? Now, of course, we know the reason he's run away is because he's such a loyal Scot, right? He's run away to save his country. Now, the big thing about this scene is this, okay? This is one of the ways the play has changed over time. Macduff, please add this down. Macduff, in the choice of country versus family, he chooses country. So he chooses to run away, to raise an army to save his country, but in doing so, he sacrifices his own family. Now, in Shakespeare's time, this would be seen as honour, right? To sacrifice your own family to save your country would be seen as a good thing. Macduff is a hero for doing this. Now, in the modern day, we would probably see that very differently, right? But in those days, where patriotism and country was so important, that's how they would see it. Okay, have patience. He had none. His flight was madness. So she knows the danger. She knows the danger that comes with this decision. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors. So he's a traitor, right? And she knows what happens to traitors. Ross is more of like a Lennox. So if you notice, Ross, right? Ross has a sort of a strange motive. Okay, Ross, please.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom to leave his wife, to leave his baby, his mansion and his title and place, and appoints himself as life. He loves us not, he wants the natural touch, for the poor friends, the most diminutive of birds of flight, the young ones of her master, against the hour, all is the fear, and nothing is the lot. As little as the wisdom, where the flight, so run, is easy.
Good. So Ross says here, we don't know whether it was wisdom or fear. So the reason, so Macduff's reason, did he go because he was scared, or did he go because he was wise? And this bit here, again, exclamation marks are usually sarcasm. So she goes, wisdom? What? To leave his wife? To leave his babes, his children, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence he does fly? How could it be wise to leave all those things behind at risk? He loves us not. Now this is in a way quite unfair, because it's not an easy choice for him. He has to make that choice. Okay, he chooses to save his country and give up his family. But of course, from her perspective, she's about to be killed. So she's not particularly reasonable with this, right? He loves us not. He is unnatural, right? Want the natural touch. So he is unnatural. Now what she means by this is that it is natural for a father to protect his family. She says even the smallest bird, even the wren, the most diminutive, the smallest of birds, will fight against the owl to protect her children. All is the fear and nothing is the love. So she says that he's a coward, right? In nature, even the smallest animal will fight a bigger animal to defend its children from harm. He's not wise, he's a coward. All is fear, nothing is love. as little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason. So she's very, very critical of him. Ross.
My dearest son, I pray you school yourself, but for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumour from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea each way and move. I take my leave of you, shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things that the worst will cease, or else climb upwards to what they were. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
So we learn that, again, lots of these guys are family. So she is his cousin, which is why he goes and warns her and tells her what's happened. He says, school yourself, right? So pretty critical. So school yourself means to like learn that you are wrong. Your husband is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. So he defends Macduff. He says, you're wrong. He's a good man, right? He's done the right thing, right? Cruel are the times where we are traitors and do not know ourselves. So Macduff is a traitor despite not wanting to be a traitor. So this is the idea about Macbeth's kingdom is a cruel one, right? Where in this world, anything you do that is against Macbeth makes you a traitor, right? Macbeth is ruling through fear and violence, as we're about to see. Okay? So he talks about fear, he talks about a wild and violent sea. That's what the world is like. This is what Macbeth's world is like. And he runs away. Okay? Because he knows that if he's found there with her, he will then be a traitor and he will be executed. So everyone is living in fear. Lady Macduff.
Father Jesus, and your Father.
I am so much a fool, should I stay longer? Indeed, my disgrace and your discomfort, I take my leave of you.
Yeah, so he's scared, right? He's scared and he runs. If he's caught there, he will be a traitor. Okay? Because these are Macbeth's enemies. She says father he is, and yet he's fatherless. So he has a father, and yet the father is not doing what a father should do. So again, the fatherless thing is a more dishonour. Now the problem for Macduff is that either way he loses. If he abandons his family, he's dishonourable. If he abandons his country, he's dishonourable. So he has to choose of the two. It's a very, very hard choice. Exit. So you go, Ross goes. Thank you, Ross. The son comes in.
Oh.
No, not yet. Lady Macduff.
Sarah, your father said, what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, brother.
What? With worms and flies?
With what I get. And so they.
Full birds. Last never appeared in net, no line, pitfall, no everything.
Right, so this scene is supposed to be a nice one, right? So the son and the mother, now this scene here is supposed to be kind of light-hearted and almost jokey, right? We're supposed to like them because then when they get slaughtered in a minute, we're supposed to feel bad about it. So she goes to him, your father's dead, right? Which is a lie, of course, but it's to do with her anger at Macduff, right? He's not coming back here. He says, how will you live now? How will you live without a father? And he's like, as best do, mother. What? With worms and flies? With what I guess I mean, and so do they. So he's supposed to be like a little sort of cute, innocent son, right? Oh, I live like a bird. What? On flies? Yes, of course, mother. Mother, mother. Yeah. What does what say? Light-hearted and jokey, right? Jovial. It says like them. We're supposed to like them as people. Okay? Son.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for what you are saying.
Yes, yes. How will you do it for a father?
Nay, how will you do it for a husband?
A cheeky little lad, right? Can we get rid of that? Milo. Levi. I'm getting really sick of this. Right? It's a warning for both of you. I need you to focus on the scene, right? And stop ruining my recordings by distracting me from them. You want to read parts, but you're not even focusing on it. So how's that supposed to work? Cheeky little boy, right? So she says to him, what are you going to do without a father? And he says, how you do without a husband, right? So it's supposed to be a little cheeky, right? There's a little joke with his mum. You know, what are you going to do without a man, mum? Lady Macduff?
Why? Why you turn to them?
Then you buy them to sell them again.
I was speaking with my way. And yet, I take his way and not for him.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, he was.
What is a traitor?
Everyone that does swear is a traitor. That one that swears a lie.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor. And not for him.
And
But-
must they...
Sorry. So quite a weird conversation here. So what are you going to do without a father? Oh, what are you without a husband? I can get 20 husbands at the market, right? Men, so there was easy to find. And he says, oh, well, if you're going to buy 20, you'll have to sell them again. So they're just joking, right? They're just joking. Is my father a traitor, mother? Yes, he's a traitor. What's a traitor? One that swears and lies. Are all traitors that do so? Everyone that swears a traitor and must be hanged, right? So she's pretty harsh against her husband, but she's pissed off at him because he's obviously abandoned them. Son,
and they must all be hanged that swear and then lie.
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why the honest man?
Then the lies and swearers are fools, for there are lies and swearers enow to beat the honest men and hang them up.
Now.
yeah, hold on a sec, hold on. So again, he jokes, right? It's not that serious a scene, but what happens to traitors? They get hanged. Who does the hanging? The honest men do the hanging. So it's kind of a bit of an irony, which is that the good people kill the bad people. He said it doesn't make any sense because there's loads of liars and swearers, and if they wanted to, they could hang all the honest people. So it's a little bit of a comment on the world, right? So that the world is bad, right? The world is full of liars and swearers. Where are all the honest people? And even the honest people are corrupted by having to kill the traitors. Now again, this scene is just them, just joking, light-hearted. Okay, Lady Macduff?
Now, God help me. Poor mum. How wish
If you were dead, you would weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Yeah, so if he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you don't weep for him, it's a good sign I shall have a new father, right? So that she will remarry. Okay? Yeah, so someone who talks. Okay? So they're just joking, right? It's like, oh, what are you going to do about dad? What are you going to do about husband? I'll get a new one. Blah, 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 right? It's supposed to just be like light-hearted, right? He's supposed to be a likeable kid, right? Kind of chatters with his mum, has a bit of a back and forth joke. Messenger.
Bless you, fair day. I'm not soon to be known, though in your safe honour I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you near. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here, pretending to listen. So bright you up, and methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you what I will call you, which is too nigh your person, having not preserved you. I dare abide in you.
Good. So this is the warning that she receives, right? So the warning. Oh, one sec. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly, right? If you take my advice, you need to be not found here, okay? With the little ones. Now the idea, of course, is that these are vulnerable people. So in this society and time, you're supposed to protect children and protect women because they had less power than men did at this time. So the idea that they would be vulnerable, in a way, what I'm trying to say to you is that when this guy turns up and says, you're in danger, she thinks, I'm a noble woman in my castle, right? Nobody will kill me because it's so dishonourable to kill me that I'm safe. So she cannot perceive the possibility of being killed because it is so taboo in their world and their society. Folly. Yeah.
Why then alas do I put out some money in defence to say I have done no wrong?
Yeah, so she says in logical, why should I run away because I've done nothing wrong? I've not done anything wrong, so why should I run away? And yet in this world, to do harm is laudable. So to be lauded means to be celebrated. Okay? Whereas to do good is folly, so foolish. So again, this world is kind of mixed, right? All the old rules are upside down. To be good is bad and to be bad is good in this world. Enter the murderers. Now we assume these are probably the same as Banquo's murderers, right? He's got his hired men that he just uses for these jobs. Lady Macduff.
What are these places? Where is your husband? I hope in no place are unsanctified for such a groundless man. He's a traitor.
Thou liest, O shag-haired villain.
Yeah, right, hold on a sec. So she says, where's your husband? Right? This is an insult. She says, nowhere where someone like you might find him. So she insults him on his class. Now remember, Lady Macduff, is a noble, okay, and the murderer is a commoner. So he walks in and he's like, where's your husband? She's like, how dare you speak to me, you common murderer, you common person, right? Nowhere that someone like you would be able to find him. He's a traitor. And the son, because the son, as we know, is a bit mouthy, right, does the same thing, says to the murderer, thou liest, you shag-haired villain. What's shag-haired mean? Yeah, this hair, right? So, just like, yeah, messy, yeah. So the little boy's like, you're a liar, you shag-haired villain.
What do you egg?
Stabbing him. Go on, you're still you, murderer.
Young fry.
He has killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you.
Yeah. So he calls him an egg. He says, "What are you?" So the little boy. So the little boy who's always like, "Ha ha, mum, where are you going to get no husband? Where are you going to have a husband from? Oh, ha ha, you're so funny." He's like, He's like, "Shut up, you liar!" And he's like, "What? Egg, right? Shag-haired villain." Just kills him, right? Little boy just stabs him and goes, "Shut up." Right? And then because his class is to play, he's killed him, mother. Right? He just run away, and then he dies, and then they drag her off for whatever they're going to do to her, and they murder everybody. Right? Now we don't see it, but he dies. That's on stage. So this is on stage, his death, and then this is off stage. So off stage, they murder everyone, right? And we find this out. We find this out as the scene goes on. Like everyone in the castle. So, Lady Macduff, all the children, the servants, the animals. We can write this down if you want to. So they murder everyone. Everyone being his wife, children, servants, even the animals, right? But they just destroy it. They burn the castle. They destroy everything. Okay. Why do they call him an egg? Why an egg? Egg. Why an egg? What is an egg? Yeah. Yeah, an egg is like an unborn animal. So they're like, you're not even born. You're so young, you're not even alive. You're not even a person. Who are you to talk to me? Call me a shag-haired villain. Egg. Stabs him, dies. So it's an insult. It's an insult that's based on youth. Okay, so an insult. Now, what I want to do is the next Act 4, Scene 3 is a long scene, so we're going to start it now and finish it off tomorrow. The reason why, this is a really interesting thing, but the reason why this is a long scene is because This is what people say. Because in this play, Macbeth has been on stage so much that they actually put this scene in to give the guy playing him a bit of a break. So it's a scene between Malcolm and Macduff, who are in England, and they are talking about what's happened to Scotland. But it is long. Okay? Ideally, so we'll start it now and finish it tomorrow. It is long to give a break to the person playing Macbeth. Okay? So we're going to move straight into it, please. Act 4, Scene 3, underline it. We are in England. Where are we? England. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give out some parts, if you'd like to read. So I'm going to do Malcolm, but I'm going to give out Macduff. I'm going to let it move around. Do you know Macduff? Right, Julie, you're my first Macduff, second Macduff, third Macduff, fourth Macduff, and if I need more, I'll come for more, please. Okay? Right, Act 4, Scene 3. Act 4, Scene 3. Let us seek some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty. So, Malcolm says to Macduff, let's find some shade, right, where we can cry together. So Malcolm, remember, of course, is Duncan's son. Now, he is the natural heir. So he has what I would describe as royal nature. So whereas Macbeth is violent and bloody, when Malcolm hears the bad things that are happening in Scotland, he says, let's go and cry together. Right? He's emotional. Yes? Yeah. Because he runs away. Because Malcolm says, whoever killed my father will probably try and kill me, so let's run away. And then Macbeth says, well, they ran away, so they obviously did it. Yep. Yes. So the idea is Macduff has gone to England to raise an army with Malcolm to come back and overthrow Macbeth. Sorry? Well, this is interesting because the play ends with Malcolm being king. So theoretically, at some point, Fleance comes and kills Malcolm.
Why did he kill Malcolm?
Because Macbeth's children will be, Banquo's children will be king. This is the point of the prophecy, which is, at some point, Banquo's children will be king, but like Macbeth, we do not know how they become king. So the theory is that at some point after the play, this whole violent cycle starts again. Because the point of Macbeth is not that Macbeth is a bad person, but that human beings are violent. So when this play ends, the idea is that in the future it will all happen again, and again, and again, and again, and again, forever. But we'll come to that. Yeah. It was, yes, of course. But of course the idea is that if you argue that human beings are naturally violent, then what do you need to stop them killing each other? You need a king, a ruler. Do you see? So the idea is that human beings are by nature violent creatures, so therefore we need hierarchy and structure. We need a great chain of being, because if we don't have a great chain of being, it will be war and anarchy. So the whole thing is about human beings are naturally violent, and therefore they need to be managed. And they can only be managed by somebody who is the rightful king, aka James I. So it is all propaganda. Okay? But, underline this please, they are crying because of what's happened to Scotland. So Macduff comes down and he says to him, Scotland is a terrible place, Malcolm. You have to come back. You've got to come back and save it. And he's like, oh my God, it's so bad. Macduff.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal soul, the not with man, beside a one feeling bastard. Each in the morning moving with their car, the orphans cry and stars and heaven on the face. That it resounds as it fell with Scotland in their lives with celebrated.
Good, so what's happening? So every day in Scotland there are new widows, there are orphans, there are new sorrows. So Scotland is full of murder. So Macbeth is just killing people, right? Women are becoming widows because their husbands are being murdered. Children are being orphans because their parents are being killed, right? That Scotland yelled out. Okay, so there's a pain in Scotland. What I believe I will, and no believe, and what I can redress, as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so perchance, this tyrant, who is, of course, Macbeth, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. So he says, look at the change in this man, right? You have loved him well. He have not touched you yet. Now, of course, this here, underline please, is ironic because we know, because of 4.2. So he goes, at the minute, Macbeth hasn't hurt you. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God. So how can I, as a young man, take down this Macbeth character? Hold on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. But Macbeth is, right? A good and virtuous nature may recoil an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must look still. So he's talking here about his father, right? So the brightest fell is Duncan. So he says there is still hope, right? The angels are still bright. There is still hope, even though my father is dead, that we could fix Scotland. Right. Perchance even there where I did find my doubts, why in that rawness left you wife and child? Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking. So he questions him here, right? Why did you leave your family? Why did you leave those that you love in danger? I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonours, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
I will not be the villain, but the bad thing for the whole space it's an tyrant's trust and a rich beast to be.
Yeah. So he says, why did you leave your family? Right? It's not for me to question you, right? You might be just. Why did you leave? And this is why he leaves, right? This is his reason. Okay? Because he loves his country. And he's so upset about what's happened to his country, right? Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny. So this is his anger that he leaves his family to save his country. Again, these are good quotes from Macduff, who we'll need to write about later on. Okay, I thank him in a pass. I'm thanking Macduff. Okay, be not offended. I speak not in this absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each day a new gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. Now what he means here is an army. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer, and more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed. Now, I'm going to warn you here, right? This is a really strange bit of this play that I've never really understood. I'll tell you exactly what he says here, and I'll let you make up your own minds on why he says it, right? Now, this first bit here, now a yoke This is the thing that cows wear when they pull a plough. So he says here, the country is suffering, right? It is like it has been put like a prison round its neck. It weeps, it bleeds, and each day a new gash is added to the wounds. But then he says to him this. He says, if I was to come down my army and I kill Macbeth and I stick his head on a sword, right, the country will be worse under me. Right? So he says here, yet, so I'm circle this, okay? My poor country shall have more vices, now vices is sins, right, than it had before. More suffer by him that shall succeed. So Malcolm says, if I become the king, I will be an even worse king than Macbeth. Right? Now, that is very much a confusing thing for him to say. Macduff.
What should he be?
It is myself I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice, so grafted that, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth, good quote, will seem as pure as snow. And the poor state esteemed him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms. So he says, when I become king, I will be worse than Macbeth. They will think of Macbeth as being like a lamb, like snow, compared to what I can do. Right? It's a really weird thing to say. Okay? You'll see. Macduff.
Not in the legions, or forest help will come and settle modern sands, when English took like that.
Yeah, this is a great quote. Underline this one, please. Not in the legions of horrid hell could come a devil more damned than evil's top Macbeth. So this is a great quote from Macbeth's evil, right? So he says, I'm going to be worse than Macbeth, and he says, nobody can be worse than Macbeth, right? In horrid hell, there is nobody worse than Macbeth. I grant him bloody luxurious, avarice, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. So this is Macbeth. Avaricious means greedy. So he says, yeah, I accept Macbeth is these things, right? He is greedy, he is false, he's deceitful, he's malicious, he has every sin that has a name. But there is no bottom, none, to my voluptuousness. Do you know what voluptuous means? To be voluptuous? So? It means sexual desire. Slash lust. Right? Your wives, your daughters, your matrons and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. A cistern is like a tub. So he says, Macbeth is bad, but I have an unlimited sexual desire. I'm going to have sex with everybody's wife, everybody's daughters, everybody's matrons, everybody's maids. Right? There are not enough women in the world to fulfill my sexual desire. Right? So he said he's going to have sex with all women. And my desire, all continent impediments would overthrow that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such as one to reign. So he says Macbeth is better than me. Okay? So the guy comes down from Scotland and says, I want to help you become the king. Macbeth is ruining our country. And Malcolm says, okay, fine, but understand this. I am basically a sexual deviant, and I will use my power to have sex with everybody's wives, daughters, maids and matrons. There are not enough women in the world for me to fulfill my desire for sex. Macduff.
Foulness and interference. In nature's a tyranny, it hath been. The untimely emptying of the happy throne, and and fall of many kings, but fear not yet. Take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink. You have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many, as will to greatness dedicate themselves by it so inclined.
Yeah, so Macbeth goes, what? He goes, well, boundless intemperance means no control, is what a tyrant is. He says, it had been the untimely bringing down of many kings, but fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in the spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. So he says that it's unnecessary. He says there are plenty of women that would want to have sex with you, Malcolm, because you would be the king, right? So he needs to be reasonable. He says there are plenty of women. You don't need to have sex with everybody's wives because you can have plenty of women, all that you want. Think that will satisfy Malcolm? With this there grows in my most ill-comprised affection such a stanchless avarice that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and his other's house, and my more having would be a source to make me hunger more. That I should forge quarrels unjust, the good and loyal, destroying them for their wealth. So he says he wants all the money. So Macbeth goes, well, hang on a sec. There's plenty of women you can have sex with. He goes, but not only that, I want all the money, right? I want to have all the land. I want to have all the jewels, right? All the houses. And I will deliberately pick fights with people so that I can take their money. Macduff?
This other witch, 6 feet up, rose in a pernicious root, and no summer season rough, and it hath been the sword of our slain king, yet do not fear. Scotland hath hastily lifted up your will. Of your mere own, all these approaches, with others doing so.
Yeah, so again he says that there is plenty. He says, again, Malcolm, you don't need to have all the money. You can have lots of money, but not all the money. Malcolm, I have none. I've got to get to this end bit, right? The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude, I have no relish of them. So these are all royal virtues, right? He says, I have none of these things, right? So he has none, right? I do not have courage or bravery or patience. I have no good qualities at all. I'm basically a piece of crap. I have nothing good, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I the power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth. So he's going to create chaos. Macduff.
Oh, Scotland.
Yeah? Oh, Scotland! Scotland! This is his pain. If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an uncultured silence bloody scatter, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again, since that the truest issue of thy friend, by his own interdiction stands the first, and does blaspheme his grief. Thy royal father was in no change of change, between that order, Otmar and Henry on the feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou wilt keep from themselves and banish them from Scotland. O my breath, if I could enter here.
So he kind of laments. Now, what we'll do is, if we can draw, we're almost out of time, so if we can just draw a line under this, okay, we will pause after we've done this little bit here. So draw a line here, please, okay, for tomorrow. So he says to Macduff, he says, this is who I am, right? What are you going to do about it? And Macduff is upset, right? He says, O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? So when will there be peace? Okay, now this is Macbeth. He says, right now Scotland has a villain in charge. When will it see peace? Since the truest issue of thy throne. Malcolm. by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed. So when will there be peace if the natural heir is this kind of guy? Your father was a sainted king. Your mother was always on her knees praying. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, my hope ends there. So he has lost all hope. Okay? Right, tomorrow we will finish off that scene and we'll find out what the hell is Malcolm talking about. Right? Okay, thank you.